Hello there everyone, this is Mark III and welcome back to Cosmoteer. Yes. Admittedly this is, I think this is like, I missed like, there's time slots where 2 episodes of this would have come out, and I am sorry about that. Basically what happened is at the weekend, I got a bit of a cold. It wasn't related to what's going around, got to be honest there. And I also had a massive bout with insomnia, and that left me just so badly spaced out most of the time I couldn't focus on anything. So there were some videos coming out, but it was reduced to what I'm trying to do, and I just didn't have it in me to really prepare too well. So Cosmoteer sadly rolled back slightly. But here we are again, and I start with a small confession, which is I actually hit a couple of extra sites down here. Just a couple of really basic ones, so nothing to worry about. And that got me a little bit of seed money, because I knew that what was coming next was going to be a little bit pricey. Yes, a little bit pricey. But we're going to hit a couple more, and my ship should be just fine for these, I think. We've got enough power to relatively safely deal with it, though those two that we hit was to gauge ship performance, I must admit. And this ship, it does fine. It's okay. It does have a couple of flaws though, and I'm not going to deny that at all. Because, well, anyone that's experienced in this game can see it's got a few flaws. There's even a comment on that as well. But, hey. Falling star. Just shoot the cannon out of it, followed by the lasers, and then blow the power core up. Heavy lasers do your thing as the shields absorb the impacts. I've got to admit, I'm glad I actually decided to go with this episodic format, where I'm only playing one at a time, waiting, then coming back to Cosmoteer, because it's actually fun to interact with you guys again. It's just that I see it so rarely on practically everything else I do. So, if you want the TLDR version, here we go. You guys actually voted for weaponry this time, and railguns won. So this ship is going to be railgun fitted. And actually I want to hit the brakes if I can. Don't turn around, thank you. But seeing this thing just driving around in its current configuration, you can probably guess at some of its flaws as well. Oh. Speaking of, here comes the thing. Twin disruptors, so the shields are going to go down, but the armor plating is enough. Okay. Damadok, you said a railgun, a massive ship-cracking, self-defecation-inducing railgun. I have actually mucked around with the railgun slightly, so I know exactly what you mean. Ooh. That forward cannon took a little bit of damage. Okay, now you guys can go straight for the thing. Right. I know the kind of railgun you mean, and I think I might try and go one better and install a double railgun, but we'll see how the ship configuration changes work out. Lord, you said try a twin laser system that you have in mid of the ship, and shoot with the armor. Shoot with mirrors, always nice damage. Sorry, I misread that there. So yes, I was thinking of doing the ion beams. That part through the last episode, I just love the ion beam as a concept. And if you ever find me playing a homeworld game, guess what my most common ship is? Ion beam frigates. Lovely tools of destruction. I normally have other ships like in the bare minimum to keep them safe, but then I have overwhelming firepower as far as ion frigates are concerned. Flipping junker. This thing spins like a dervish, so there's no point aiming. Just pepper it with fire until it gives up. Anyway, so moving on, and this one raises a very valid point, though it's actually mitigated slightly, so I'm quite happy with that. Happy Hafer says, how about having more crew space in the head? Most of the quarters are by the engines. This is very true. Very, very true. However, yep. You're dead. Okay, we'll just let this game go ahead and kill the next one. I'll just pause it when we get there just to make sure. And in fact, I've done the same thing again. And slow down. That's one of the flaws in this design. It actually depletes power really hard when it gets into a fight. And for some reason, most of the time, crew members just go to this single reactor here to get power. They don't even bother with the others most of the time. So the reactor layout is one of the flaws of this thing. Oh boy. Happy F said, more cruisers in the head. That would normally be a bit of an issue, but as it is, I have these moving walkways installed, which is actually letting my crew get to the head really quickly. It just means there's a little bit of a time lag before the crew actually get into place in this design, so it's not big enough to actually be a massive concern. There is the issue of, like, once they're actually in the head, they have to move around, but the length of the neck, it's not really an issue. Or should I say the length of the shaft? Doc is going to be laughing his head off at that one, but hey, there you go. But yeah, you do have a valid point about crew placement. It just wasn't quite an issue yet. If I'd continued to develop in this design and moving all the crew quarters further and further away from the head, then yes, that would definitely be an issue. Okay, we are done here. We can proceed to the next hunting ground. Just another easy one. One Eye, you left a big response, good sir. Thank you very much. So, he says that yes, Walt is the solo developer. I was not actually aware that Cosmoteer was a solo project. I thought it was a duo. I think I was getting it confused with Space Pirates and Zombies. For weapons, you recommend a railgun or two. I'm going to try and go for two. I do like lots of DACA. Or two. Once you get to a veteran or elite systems, well, I want to hit some of the higher difficulty ones just for extra money. I just need to get the ship tuned up to a point where it's good enough for that. And right now, it might be able to handle veteran. Elite, probably not. That's my general feeling about the design at the moment. Off we go. He says that specifically because... Ooh, a trapper with lots of ion guns. Okay. For this one, I think I'm actually going to need to do something. Go for that power core, followed by the control room, followed by the reactor, and I'm actually going to turn off my ion cannons. Or at least I'm going to turn off a couple of them. Because the ion cannons are massive... Sorry, ion cannons? Electro bolts. I'm used to stun weapons being ion weapons in so many genres, I get confused. I'm actually going to slow down because this might be... this one... Well, the shields evaporate, basically, so, you know. But, focusing on the heavy lasers, that forward reactor's already gone. Control room I wanted to make sure so it couldn't react properly, and yeah, not too big of a deal. Just some minor armor damage and stuff like that. Right. Anyway, continuing with your lovely comment. Later on, ion beams combined using prisms are probably going to be your best bet at killing... Wait, did I miss... Yeah, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but the comment does go on to say, elite systems, since there will be some kiters for which you might not be able to catch. Maneuverability is another flaw in this design. It doesn't turn very well, it's not got that great acceleration, its reverse is actually really bad, especially for the weight of the design, so the engine block is in need of a massive upgrade. That's one of the things that I'm not happy about with it, but it's the way I play a Cosmoteer. It's like evolving design as we go. Anyway, later on, ion beams combined using prisms, which is what Lol had said, but you say later on, so I'm not counting that as a vote this time. Probably going to be my best bet for killing the vanguards. If you don't know, you can make an ion core by combining many ions with prisms into the center of your ship and then having them shoot through a small tunnel protected by armor and shields. Ions combined like this are the meta right now, as long as you can ram the enemy. That's a very specific if that. Also, I'm greatly enjoying the series so far. Not many YouTubers play Cosmoteer. I was somewhat aware of this, but I've not gone out of my way to double check before I started recording, if I'm honest. I don't compare what I'm thinking of doing to what might or might not be popular at the time. That's, I guess, one of my flaws as a YouTuber. I don't know. Jetsam, I think we can Actually, just go for the core. It's exposing its core. Shoot it. Splat. Right. I don't compare my channel to other channels because honestly I find that depressing. This is a long running channel. It's not done too well. But hey, I keep it up going regardless. Moving on. Before I start thinking about that. Play Cosmoteer, and even fewer know what they're doing. It's great to watch someone who isn't always having their ships blown up. Thank you. I only always have my ship blown up against vanguards, actually. Believe it or not. I've only poked vanguard level sectors like maybe 2 or 3 times tops in the whole time I've had the game. And every time my ship went bye-bye. So, yeah. I've got some designing to do before I get to that point. Okay, and the last comment is Captain Redstone. Tells me that the ship's default attack rotation is determined by the amount of active weapons facing a given direction. This is true. I think that it defaulted to side-on just because there was no power forwards, and there was a lot of weapons on either side, so it just basically picked one and stuck with it. I think that's basically what was going on when it turned like that. Though he does remind me that if my ship ever attacks at a weird angle, you can override the default orientation with the placement marker, which we are just conveniently sliding over right now. Target the gun, please. Actually go for the laser. Laser, then that, then just go for the power core, I think. Yep, that'll do. Yeah, notice that my ship is constantly trying to orient itself. That's because it doesn't have enough turning force in it. Anyway, override default by simply hitting R and right-clicking where you want to rotate. Oh! I was not aware of that. Also, yeah, as you can see, the iron bolts are taking all the power before the rest of the system can handle it. So yeah, this is one of the drawbacks. The heavy lasers aren't getting enough supply, so they run out if the ship is already low on power when it goes into a fight. But they are enough to knock out at least enemies of this level. Oh boy. But yeah, press R and then click where I want to rotate to. Ah. I was not aware of that. Thank you, Captain Redstone. I have to try and remember that one. Okay, then you continue on. I must say I'm quite impressed. You understand the game at a much deeper level than most players, especially casual ones. I'm excited to see how you'll do in the higher tier sectors. Here's a spoiler, I'm going to die. But hey, that's going to happen eventually no matter what, so... The manner and timeliness of my death remains to be seen. So, I'm going to die, it's just, I don't know when. And we've also picked out all the easy sectors here, so we're just going to hop over to the next area and hit that one. Okay. But yes, thank you for your kind words, guys. Much appreciated. And I don't think I even qualify as a casual player, given how little overall I've played this game, given how long I've had it. So, it's been sitting on the wayside, as I said in the first episode, for like a couple of years mostly. I've taken a poke at it like maybe once or twice, but that's about it. Shoot the power core. Dead. Give my ship a chance to recharge. But, yeah. What I'm going to say is... Oh, this guy has got serious boosting. Also, he's drawn me into the range of another one. But, notice this guy reverses faster than I do, so I'm going to hit my boosters. Just to get close enough. My shields can tank it. And without my guns firing, I can actually keep my shields fully active. But the boosters is a much needed improvement, but now it's out turning, so. Oh boy. On the bright side, at least its focusing crystal's gone. That greatly reduces the effectiveness of iron beams. And what little I've tried with that system, even a single iron beam with a focusing crystal is actually a lot more dangerous than the iron beam by itself. Engines charged, good. Forward. But yeah, this is one of those kiting situations that my craft doesn't readily have the firepower or speed to deal with it. Unless I use the booster drive, which is kind of why I installed it. I knew I'd need it at some point or other. Boost engines, expensive, but very good to have. Now, in particular, I think Captain Redstone's comment about everything's shutting down now. Oh, nope, there goes the main damage dealer. So that'll stop my shields from getting messed up too much. I'm going to go for the... yeah, I'm going to hit the control room first, just so it stops trying to reverse. I understand the game at a much deeper level than most players. Here's what I think about that. I think that I am a very logical person, so I do pick up on ground rules and things pretty quickly. It makes me very flexible as a gamer, I must be honest. And I am so far out of position. Yeesh. Let's just head over here. I pick up basic ground rules, but I don't have the... you know, the focus / attention span / well, I do have the attention span. I do have the focus part of the time. I don't have the interest in absolutely min-maxing a build order or stuff like that. I think Mindustry is probably a good example of this. Raz taught me quite a few things in how to try to optimize how I was playing. But then I balked when he was getting into like at this stage of the battle you want this, and then you want this by this wave, and it's like, I don't quite go that way. Raz put together like super heavy end game stuff. Like he had all his weapons armed with incendiary ammunition and stuff like that, which is like at the very end of the game, it's one of the harder materials to supply them with, that kind of stuff. But I settled for mid-tier one because I find it very, very simple. I can easily get it going. It provides guided ammunition as its special effect, which I like, and it's actually got some benefits over the end game stuff. The end game stuff is always damage over time and some AoE and stuff like that, but using silicon-based ammunition, you can feed into a lot of the weapon systems, but it can also be used to boost some of your shields and repair systems, so it actually gives you some extra defensive options as well. And I found that interesting, and I think Raz kind of skipped past some of its effects just to get to the end game effects, you know? Ooh. How dare you shoot my rear armor, sir? I'm going to kill your laser. Have at ye! Ha! And this is all the farming we're going to do, by the way, so for the last half of this episode I will be working on building just to get this design expanded and upgraded, because we've got 210,000, that is a decent chunk of change in the bank, so we are well situated to do a costly upgrade, because big weapon systems are going to cost a lot. So, yes. Admittedly, I spent half the episode responding to your comments, guys, and honestly, I'm fine with that. Okay, so let's double check the system and make sure. We've got the railgun, it has to end with the loader, and then we build accelerator modules ahead of it, and then we have a launcher module to cap it off. These guys, building them longer adds to the statistics, but there is a hard cap eventually. And I think this needs an ammo factory, doesn't it? Requires a... Yeah, needs at least one ammo factory. So that's 10,000 straight off the bat. 12.5 to build the loader. 7.5 for the accelerators and the launchers. So, what is the hard thing about the railguns? The hard thing about the railguns is that they dictate the arrangement of the ship. Very much so. I'm just going to bolt these things over the side here. Just delete you, actually. And just strip away some of the next system. So there we go. So the problem is railguns are solid. Well, I know that sounds like a really obvious no duh moment, but I'll explain. Railguns are solid, as in they prevent access to things through them. So you literally can't go through them except for the very, very bottom of it. The railgun then has to be solid all the way up, and it provides a massive roadblock to getting around a ship. So yeah, it's not the best, if I'm going to be honest. I think I'm just going to randomly connect this with corridor so we can actually make it so. But yeah, I'm doing this so I can check the statistics. So this thing is 10,000 damage per shot, penetrates 15 meters. So we continue. So we have to kind of design where it's mounted exclusively around the rail system. And that is a bit of an issue generally. In fact, you know what? I'm thinking like maybe separated by one. And then we've got this, we can have a single access corridor going up the center of the railgun shafts. Oh god, I've said shaft twice in one episode. Dammer's gonna... But yeah, this is the kind of thing. So that's rapid access for battery replenishment because each section has to have access to batteries to give its own power supply. If we hold out now, this thing is not actually updating properly. Oh, I think it's because it's not charged. Fine. It's not charged. Let's get this thing fully charged and see what it will do. For that, I want the walkways. I forgot the key for rotating. Yes, this is the other thing. This is the other reason why I don't tend to go like, I must build this on this turn and that before that, unless it's like really simple or obvious. I prefer to like be a bit more freeform in how I go. Okay, so that's all fully charged. Will you give me better stats now? You will not. Okay. Is it because I'm not loaded? If I can't find the stats for this, then I will just accept it at this length and get to work on the rest of the ship around it. So, we only need the one loader, I would think. But there is a way we can actually test this. And that is set them to full auto fire mode, and we'll see how the weapons perform constantly firing. Yeah, it's not actually updating the stats there. Okay, that's fine. Let's set them to firing mode, can I? I can. Okay. That's the other thing, they have recoil. One advantage of the railguns, though, is they are actually pretty good about ammo. Though, that said, as you can see, it's actually took a moment for the loaders to actually get here and start doing it. They are running forward to supply it, quite happily, so, yep. However, one cannon ammo factory was not actually keeping up with the load. So, now we also know that for a fact, this single ammo factory is not going to be enough. So, that's why I'm testing, just to make sure. Let's get back to building. We want at least 2 factories, and I would say I want to get ammo stockpile as well involved. Once again, I accidentally did the thing. I could try to take advantage of the adjacency bonuses here, but you know what, let's do that actually. Let's take advantage of the adjacency bonuses, so they are more effective as well. Sounds perfect to me. The centerline doors there, so that if people are coming in to service the actual rail system itself, they can just quite happily go straight through and grab stuff. That sounds ideal to me, honestly. And then I'll add in some stockpiles next to the guns, just in case. One thing I must note, though, is the railguns are an interior block, so if a cannon shell comes straight down here, it's going to hit the entire railgun, most likely, and then go onwards happily into the rest of the ship. So, not exactly a happy, healthy situation to be in. So because of that, I'm going to move the railguns forward slightly. I said move them forward slightly, please. Thank you. There we go. Move them forward slightly and install a backstop, at the very least, in terms of armor plating. There we go. And the doors go quite happily into the ammo rooms. Let's move that. Continue. So yeah, so this area is pretty vulnerable to getting a cannon straight through it. I don't want that. And don't worry, this episode will be slightly longer because I am aware that I'm a bit of goof sometimes when it comes to building stuff. I also want to get some crew quarters around here, actually, so that neatly goes back to Happy Hafer. I want to have some crew nearby to immediately start restocking these things and going, yay, look at me, I'm doing things correctly. You know, that kind of thing. Let's move the back section off a bit. Back here. And I'm going to leave that actually. Let's get the mirror mode Mac. And this is going to be part of the head now, so this way there is quick access into the side areas, and that lets it just get started immediately on trying to get things operational. In fact, you know what? I think I'm going to redo the side areas a bit as well, just to help, because I'm redesigning it around this entire thing as a centerline cannon system. But that'll help, and there will be crew spacing in here as well, just to help out with everything, honestly. There we go, and a bit more armor plate as well, just to add a bit of extra protection to the cannon ammunition supply, just in case. I was tempted to do that to just there as well, just to be sure, in case something knocks all the way through the side and does nasty things to me. In fact, yeah, that's probably the safe idea to do. Yeah, this will protect me unless they go like side on and get a shot straight through that one hole, which it sounds like it'll be an absurdly lucky shot, so I don't mind it being a weakness. And there's another access for the crew just in case they need to get through it, so hooray for that. And you know what? I'm thinking of making this a big reactor core. That's what I'm thinking. Make this into a big old reactor core. That way the people can't be show favourites. Like that. Or like that, actually, because they need to get off the rapid access way just to get around anyway. Yeah, let's do that. Central reactor online. Power systems nominal. Yes. Direct access, direct access. I don't need that door there. I moved the corridor, so I don't need that there. In fact, I'm going to say I don't need that there either. I'll just provide a door to get through into that, just so that I can get a bit more going on with the access walkways. I am sorry, this is a more involved build, isn't it? I am aware that I am actually going just like a bit here, a bit there, a bit more bit. Yes, a bit. Okay. But yeah, that is now a much heavier system. It takes advantage of the walkways to get full access. It's got actually standard corridors at the access points there, though not up here because this is a bit more of an infrequent place to be. I'm going to give it actually a power reserve room at the top. And then I'm actually going to fit it with a shield at the top as well. So that is like its 4 defensive points. And then the armor plating can go as far as like about here-ish. Though I need to keep in front of the railguns free for some obscure reason. I don't know why, but at least there's going to be a lot of armor plate down the center line, which will at least help to stop the ship from going boom. And for some reason, I think that might be vaguely important in the ship design. Call me crazy, but, you know, going boom is generally not the name of the game. Though that said, I will have to make sure it's actually all connected by these things, which can be fired across. Crew can get across those. Though I don't know if the crew walking across while the weapon system is firing is going to be the best idea. But hey, it's a start. And the ship is looking more phallic than ever. Oh dear. Oh well, that's just because we've not rounded out the head of it yet. Dammer's going to have a field day with this. Right. Now, shielding. I want armor plating to go down the side of the railgun. That's part of the reason why I split it off a little bit. And my timer's just gone off, warning me that I have hit the half-hour mark, but the ship is still only partly done. I'm going to continue for another 5 minutes, roughly. And then I'll stop it there so it doesn't become a super long episode. And hey, it means the pause point is right in the middle of construction, so that means you guys can actually weigh in on the construction if you are so inclined and tell me how much so dum-dum I'm being. Or not, it's entirely up to you. Oh dear. That there, yes. This will provide a last line backup to that shield generator if it gets hit. And I guess one there. Actually, if I want to maintain like a fully flowing conveyor corridor, it needs to be moved out slightly. But that's okay. Having the head bigger will help in general. Though that will, of course, magnify the power consumption quite spectacularly. But hey, that's not something this designer is actually going to be able to avoid. So, hey. That's also why I've got a big, beefy reactor as well. More power. There is one thing I would like to note, though, which right now we are down to like 90,000, just below 90,000 out of our 206,000 starting fund. And that is that to actually make good use of these railguns, we actually need an extra system, which is in the flight menu, I believe. No. Miscellaneous? Yes, sensors. So a sensor room to expand the sensor range will let us hit with our weaponry further away. And that is something that's going to be good to have, though it costs 20,000. We don't need it quite yet. It's only a 2x2, so we can easily bolt it in. Oh, that's a tractor beam. I've not seen that before. Pull force and power usage is at maximum range. Push force and power usage is at minimum range. So, okay. So it's better at pulling the further away it is, but it pushes better the closer it is. That could be useful against kites and things, actually. I'm just worried if I'm over-engineering the ship, if I'm going to be entirely honest, but there's no such thing as overkill as far as heavy firepower is concerned, so I don't really mind that much. But we do need more. We need supplemental weapons. The railguns are great, but if they can't deliver the killing blow, it is a moot point, if I'm going to be honest. So, power. I'm going to say I want to have plenty of power storage for some strange reason. I don't know, maybe it might be kind of important to have it up here. There is going to be a slight shuffle on this axis. I wasn't anticipating that, but that's okay. It's quick to sort out. It's quick to sort out, he says, while hesitating and thinking about what to do. I do like the conveyors. They are a nice addition, and you know the old you know that people are statistics, so they get shuffled around like freight. That's how it goes. But not really. But it does mean I could actually include some extra crew space or extra systems in here, or maybe even a bit of extra armor plating too. So that's all good. It's all good in the hood, yeah. Bit there, bit there, bit there, bit there. I should actually get my mirror mode back. And I think I will install some extra crew there. So I'm going to keep that as a ready access point to get through into this area from the crew space. So the crew space is now roughly amidships. And I'm going to install the fire suppression system back here. So, yeah, one there. And one, I guess, there. A bit of extra armor plating. And I guess that'll do. And that gives them a lot of ready access for crew. Just to get in and out and go here, there, and everywhere. In fact, I think maybe I should just go ahead and stop fighting it and just mirror mode the walkways. So if they come out of this door, they easily head straight up the line to where the power consumption is going on. So if the batteries are actually charged, they will go that way most of the time out of there. So it's just more efficient that way. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry if it throws you off a little bit. It's like that's a left-right, and now it's like this one is a left-right, and that one's a right-left. But it's all about getting around a little bit faster. And then in the interest of that, of course, I provide off points like that, just so that people can get off a bit more easily and get around between the conveyor lines a bit better. Also, those doors need to be moved so they're closer to this side. Okay, so we have really bad warp efficiency. We need to install warp drives in this thing because the nose is not covered. Plenty of crew, tons of power, and we have excess ammo production capacity as well as current in this design. What we don't have is like turning thrusters and things like that, but I've not forgotten. I'm going to install like a very cheeky couple of small thrusters here. Armor is, of course, another thing which is going to be coming up. The engine section needs to be expanded, but we've already spent a ton of money, so this is what we've got so far. And yeah, as I said, with that, the alarm has gone off again, so I'm afraid it is now time to call this over for the time being. There is an entire song about goodbye and stuff. I was considering just like going ahead and trying to do it, but I've forgotten the words, so impromptu singing is not my forte, I must admit. And this is not going to be solid, by the way. I'm going to incorporate guns and things into this. It's just like, this is what we've got so far. And we're down to 35, so I'm not going to actually hunt up things. Just watch this thing in motion really quickly. Having the central power core is very much helping. Look how quickly they got all the power out as well, jeez. And yeah, those crew walkways are doing great. Now then, that just leaves these railguns, which I wish I could see the statistics for. Oh wait, we don't have a ship control room. That is vaguely important. But yeah, that's what we've got so far. So, this has been Iron Mark III. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm thinking of putting the sensor room like on the opposite side of the control room, so it's like evens the ship out a little bit. But the engine block does need upgrades, and that's probably what I'll focus on next time, as well as the extra weapons and armor as the ship grows. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show, and I look forward to reading the comments and seeing what you guys think of to suggest for this thing. But yeah, catch you all some other time. Oh, there's no doors down there either. Whoops. Fine, there you go. Yeah, you guys can actually have access to the engine block now. That's also somewhat important. Maneuverability is not too bad, especially with those new thrusters on the sides. Forward and reverse is still very bad though, and does need some tuning.